Alright, and welcome back to more Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Last time, we went to Legram, and we pretty much did all Legram last part. We got saved by a certain individual when we went to Lohengrin Castle. And then we came here to Garrelia Fortress as an extra part of our field study. So now we are allowed to go talk to our classmates because we have about an hour's worth of time before the training exercises that they're preparing to do. Alright. Alright. First up, what's going on, instructor? Oh yeah, Tovo gave me a call about what happened in Legram. So you had a mechanical monster show up outside the city limits? Yeah, Tovo looked pretty concerned when he first mentioned it, when we first mentioned it to him too. Do you know anything about them? Well, I'm no stranger to the group that makes them. They go by the name Ouroboros. Hey, finally someone mentions it. They're a secret society of sorts that acts in the shadows all across the continent. A secret society? We don't know how many members there are, what they're capable of. Honestly, we don't know much about them at all. What we do know is that they have access to technology more advanced than the most cutting-edge research institutes. And that they've been behind several crises that have threatened to shake the foundations of the entire nation states. And these are the people who made those monsters? If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I find it hard to swallow, but there's no denying what we saw out there. Huh. Well, you don't need to come to grips with them just yet. We call the mechanical monsters like the ones you guys fought archaisms. And lately, it seems like an awful lot of them have made their way onto the black market. There's been one sighting after another these days, all over the Empire and beyond. Wow, that's heavy. Does that mean there's a chance that they might be plotting something here in Erebonia? Just in your opinion, I mean. Well, that's the tricky thing about them. It doesn't necessarily mean that at all. There have been cases where we know they put archaisms out into the wild purely to test their abilities, for example. Still, it's something to keep in the back of your mind, at least. Right. I'll be sure to let the others know, too. I am surprised that she was so forthcoming about Ouroboros. That just seems like something like you really don't want kids to know. Not unless they're in the proper military. Know what I mean? Alright, so in here... Hey, Emma. What? What? Oh, are you taking a rest, Emma? I did take a short walk around, but everything about this fortress is so imposing. It made me feel a little faint. Huh, I feel you there. Looking at Emma now, it's hard to believe she's the same person who almost single-handedly guided us through that castle. Reen? Nah, never mind. But there is one thing that's been bugging me lately, ever since we arrived in Legram. I feel like, just out of the corner of my eye, I catch glimpses of this small black shadow following us. But ever since we got to the fortress, I haven't seen it. Really? Maybe you were possessed by something? Possessed? Yikes, that's kind of an unsettling thought. It is, isn't it? I'm glad I told her to go back when we reached Celtic. Alright, so... Man, Reen knew that the cat was there. Impressive, honestly. What's in here? Oh yeah, the other, like, Oh, there are enough bunk beds. Okay. Oh, bunk beds. They're beds. I hope the military didn't have to go out of their way or anything like that. Hey there, girls. What the hell? Sorry. Weird noise. I'd heard about the fortress from my father, but seeing it in person really drives home its incredible scale. Oh yeah, your father helps train the Imperial Army in swordsmanship, doesn't he? I can see why he's so busy, if he's going around training all the soldiers in places this massive. Indeed, I feel like the reality of that is finally sinking in for me as well. I have no idea how his teachings are actually being applied, though. Perhaps we will have the opportunity to find out during today's military training exercise. I'm looking forward to it. The soldiers here seem pretty well trained. Pretty well equipped, too. Like you'd expect from the Empire's biggest fortress. You'd need to put in some serious prep time if you wanted to topple it. Fee? I'm not sure that's something you should say within earshot of the soldiers. Old habits die hard. I wonder if she does that, like, in a lot of places, like, she just looks at it with a Jaeger's point of view. Oh, they got weapons, but I can't because I don't have money. Oh, they got everything. Ooh, they got a new Imperial Chronicle. Still can't afford them. Oh yeah. I made some change. Let's see. Oh wow, I can't even affect my party members. Wow. Usually I can do something for them, but not this time around. I hope they're, like, being jovial about, like, having students here, not treating us like we're in the way, being pains in the ass and whatnot. Because, like, seriously, we're... Like we had much choice in coming here. Alright. What is up here besides more people to talk to? Who is up here, now that I think about it? Oh. Nightheart. So you're the students who have come to tour the fortress? Yes, sir. He's wearing an officer's uniform. I wonder if he's... This is Lieutenant General Walter, commander of Garrelia Fortress. He also serves as division commander for the 5th Armored Division, which is stationed here. I apologize for not greeting you sooner, sir. Thank you for granting us the opportunity to tour the fortress. It really is an honor. Well, at least you aren't lacking in manners. Hardly built like a soldier, though. I have my doubts that you'd be able to endure the military's training regimen with a physique like that. You sure you're training them properly, Major? My apologies, sir. Though I hear the Academy has a former bracer as their combat instructor, they must really be scraping bottom. I've heard of the purple lightning before, of course, but a bracer is still a bracer. Oh, good. Even in Erebonia, military types treat bracers like shit. Leaving such an important role in the hands of a civilian is ridiculous. A famous stores isn't what it used to be. Well, no surprise here. It's like he fills in every box the checklist for stereotypical Imperial Army officer. Anyway, as Fortress Commander, allow me to welcome you to Garrelia. Keep in mind, though, that we're constantly on alert for potential threats from the east. I have no problem with your class conducting your field study, but see that you don't get in the way. Of course, sir. Very well, I'll take my leave here, as I have business to attend to. Man, like, critiquing us is one thing, but talking trash about a bracer, former or otherwise, I can't stand for that. He's certainly strict. Well, he is responsible for keeping one of the Empire's most vital defense fortifications running smoothly. Considering the ongoing tensions between the Empire and the Republic, you should be grateful he allowed you to come at all. I won't forget it. Now, I'm afraid I must excuse myself as well. You're welcome to tour the rest of the fortress, but don't try to enter the command center. Of course, good luck with your work, instructor. I'll see you later then. There is definitely a difference between these guys and the Liberalian military, I gotta say. Maybe I just couldn't pick up on like any kind of sarcasm or something like that, but it definitely feels like what's the best way? It feels like the Royal Army was a lot friendlier, like more accepting. And these guys are like, I get like Arabonia has constant feuds with the Republic of Calvard, so it's like it's understandable that they're always on high alert because they're constantly butting heads. At the same time, gee, like, I mean, like, the Royal Army had its problems too. Seems like this is a hangar for tanks and armored cars. It's kind of staggering to see so many of them lined up in one place. Like, the Liberal Royal Army also had, like, the military types who did not like bracers. I can't remember the dude's name, but the guy who commanded Hocken Gate. I'm not looking forward to this. You've never seen any military exercises before, right, Reen? Yeah, this will be my first time. I take it you have then? Yeah, my dad showed me one the last time he brought me out here. He really does want me to join the military, but I really don't think I'll ever be suited for it the way he is. I get where you're coming from. The more I hear about his dad, the more curious I get. The more concerned I get. I'm not entirely sure how to feel seeing so many Oxens lined up like this. The Rhineford Company makes these, don't they? Unfortunately so. I'm sure they'll be using them for this military exercise too. As far as I can tell, they'll be pitted against the older automated models. That sounds pretty brutal. The older tanks won't stand a chance. Well, that's kind of the point. They want to show off just how easily the new ones can dominate them. Well, you don't get the chance to go eyes on with this stuff every day. I'll take this opportunity to see for myself just how competent they are. It's just like her. Let's see. Man, it is so... This place is almost comically big. Let's see. Control freight platform. You know what? This is probably where I can go. But do I need to? Let's see. Ah! The light. The void. Wow. I don't know why, I'm immediately thinking of a Halo map. Man, imagine if you had to do that every time you pass by someone. In a place this big with this many people, you probably get nothing done. Let me guess, that train's going out? No, wait, this is the Arabonian side, isn't it? I can't believe the size of this place. Oh, given that uniform, you must be one of the students from Thor's. Feel free to look around all you like, but try to stay out of our way. We're all incredibly busy at the moment. So if you don't mind, I'd ask you to make your way to the corridor over there instead of hanging around here. Understood. Thank you very much. Might as well head over there. Oh, there's a couple people over here. I'm coming! Man, this place is huge. Eustace? Gaius? Gaius, are you okay? I'm just kind of shocked by how different the atmosphere here is from Zender Gate. Well, it is a major military base right on the border of Crossbell. I never imagined it'd be quite this big, though. The place is such a departure from Zender Gate that I can hardly believe that this is the same military. Although perhaps this is the true face of the Imperial Army. The fortress is the very definition of oversized, and that's ignoring the excessive display of military power. I imagine that the posturing is meant to show the Croatan provincial army that they could crush them on a whim. I forgot what this place probably means to you and your family. I suppose. While I don't agree with my father's actions, I can't say I'm comfortable with this fortress's presence either. I kinda get what you mean. In fact, I find it hard to believe that anyone could sleep peacefully near a fortress like this. Oh yeah, no.
Aw, guess you can't see it from here after all. We'd be able to see it from where the railway guns are, but they'll get mad if I get too close to them.
What are you up to now, Milliam?
You know that huge Orcus Tower where they're holding the trade conference? I'm trying to get a good view of that.
Oh yeah, they mentioned it in the Imperial Chronicle and on the radio. Can you actually see it from all the way over here? That'd be incredible.
Would I ever lie to you? I wish I could have gone with Gramps instead of being stuck on some stupid field study.
Why'd you join Class 7 then? Speaking of which, they're going to be holding the keynote session there tomorrow. I wonder what they'll be talking about during it. Oh, plenty of stuff.
Most people are thinking it's just so they can decide on finance rules and stuff on Western Zemuria. But I think it's really going to end up being about who Crossbell belongs to. Knowing Gramps, he might even try to get Crossbell to become of Arabonia.
Seriously?
The prince has gone there too, so he'll probably just try and shake everybody up a bit.
Unbelievable. Toa's there too, though, so here's hoping things go well. I don't like Toa being there. With Osborne, with Oliver, just being there at all. Oh, can't go this way. Now I have to go all... Good lord. Alright, this is where the dash function comes in handy. Let's go, Reen. Walk those steps. Get those kilometers. Hatch that egg. Wait, what do you mean I'm not playing Pokemon Go? Speaking of that game, I still play it on occasion, and I just have so many items because I haven't been able to like really catch stuff because I've been so caught up with it. Like I have like as complete a Pokedex as I can, but it's just like, oh my goodness, I can't get any items, which means I can't get any Pokestop spins, which means I can't really do anything. Oh, the helipad. I'm just looking for people to talk to, don't mind me. Looks like this is the fortress's airport. There might come a day when I find myself in a military airship. Oh, they're allowing me to be here. Okay. Here are our other two members. Crazy. It really is night and day. Yeah, it's hard to imagine two places more diametrically opposed. What's wrong, you two? Oh, we were just talking about how different this place is with Uri. Uri was super lively, but this place? I think Crow's having withdrawals now that he's somewhere without easy access to a casino at all times. I can imagine. Seems like everyone's talking about Uri these days, though. Was it really that amazing? It was. I didn't know what to expect with the recent annexation by Erebonia, but everything looked fine to me. It has offices, an entertainment district, and all of the people I saw were thoroughly enjoying themselves. It goes as far as to say that they're happy to be under the Imperial government's control. I don't know if I'd go that far. Oh? A little bird told me Chancellor Osborne was the one behind the annexation in the first place. It also told me he used some pretty forceful tactics to get them to agree. And of course, most of their tax money takes a brand new detour straight into the Imperial government's pockets. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the annexation happen just to fatten his pocketbook. But paying taxes is a citizen's duty. It's only natural that they do so now that they're under Erebonian's protection, right? Sounds like this is a pretty complicated issue. Very much so. Alright, let's see. That's a big old airship. So, like, I know, like, pretty much all the nations have, like, big old airships. But it's like, what was it that made the Arsail so special? I know that, like, it was, like, really fast. I don't know. Maybe it's special. That's all I know. Oh, we're under attack. This bulletin is to inform all Thor students that preparations for today's military exercise are now complete. Please assemble in the hangar immediately. Your transport is standing by. I repeat. That's Instructor Neidhart. The time must have passed more quickly than I thought. I suppose I should start making my way toward the hangar. Maybe I'll run into the others on the way. So now it's time for a military exercise. We boarded the armored cars and set off toward the proving ground. Well, we went in cars. That's how big this place is. You have to have cars to transport. I don't think we can all fit in those. The inside of the armored cars was narrow and cramped, and the smell of machine oil hung in the musty air. Ugh. The cars shocked and rattled over the uneven ground, tumbling us around like an iron coffin on wheels. Eventually, after enduring 10 minutes of jaw-rattling travel, unable to even peek outside at the scenery, we finally arrived at Garrelia Fortress's military proving grounds. It's like we're being kidnapped. They don't want you to know where you're going. Oh, did we get a sneak peek at Crossbow on the other side? Aw. I missed it because I had to clear my throat. Garrelia Fortress Annex, military training ground. Oh boy. Oh, and look, they have a little tent all perched up. Wow. Oxen's mean battle tanks. There are plenty of older model tanks out there too. Even looks like they have airships here. Oh yeah, like the ones we saw in Nord. Welcome. Oh. The man of the hour. Olaf Craig. So that's Elliot's dad. I don't see the family resemblance.
Looks like the hair made the jump from father to son, though.
Look at that stash. Reporting, Lieutenant General. Very good, Neidhart. And Instructor Valestein, I believe. Pleased to meet you.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Lieutenant General Craig. Allow me to extend my deepest thanks for agreeing to cooperate with us for the Academy's curriculum today.
Think nothing of it. Many of these fine youngsters may one day hold positions in the Imperial Army, after all. Besides, I owe a lot to old General Van Dyke. And these must be...
What a piercing stare.
So this is Craig the Red. Elliot, my boy, it's so good to see you again.
Huh?
Oh, look at him. It must be half a year now since I last saw you. How have you been? That's a sharp-looking uniform you've got, too. I've seen the photos, but it looks even better on you in person.
Dad, come on.
You've still got a long way to go if you want to put on some real muscle. There's part of me that hopes you'll stay my little cherub forever. But you're a man of Erebonia, and the men of Erebonia must be strong, stout, and ready for action. It was for your own good as a man that I held back my tears and enrolled you in the military academy.
Dad, I can't breathe. I feel like everything I've been told about him was a lie. There do seem to be some differences from the stories.
You're kidding me. He seems like a cool guy.
What a delightful commanding officer you have, Major.
Words fail me.
Dad, knock it off. I'll tell Fiona.
Old man, you're afraid of your daughter. Moving right along. Olaf Craig. I'm Lieutenant General Olaf Craig, commander of the Imperial Army's 4th Armored Division. I've been entrusted with the role of overseeing today's joint military exercise.
You know, Elliot, despite the whole, pushing you to be a military man, he seems like a swell dude. Seems like.
I can't pass final judgment, and also...
What is going on with his eyebrows? There's the bushy stuff, yes, but right underneath it, I mean, that could just be, the kind of, eye line, but it almost looks like he has 2 sets of eyebrows.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Likewise, sir.
It's a pleasure, sir.
You've got one heck of a dad, Elliot. Believe me, I feel it in the bones.
Now let me give you a brief rundown of what will be happening. This exercise will consist of simulated battle conducted by 2 of our armored divisions. Armored regiments at the formation center, infantry, armored cars, and airships will work in tandem, using their maneuverability to the fullest to obliterate the targets. As our targets today, we'll be using previous model tanks that have been decommissioned from service. Autopilot functionality will allow them to evade it and return fire, but they've only been armed with paint bullets. However, in other regiments taking part in today's exercise have been equipped with live ammunition.
So you intend to actually destroy the other tanks?
It would hardly be a live fire exercise if we didn't. The current time is 1400 hours, right on schedule.
Seems kind of a waste. And should y'all be... I don't know.
We'll now begin today's joint military exercise. Armored Divisions 4 and 5 commence combat operations. Glory to the Empire and the Imperial Army. Begin! 5th Armored Division, Armored Regiment will advance first. Armored Car Regiment and Infantry Regiment follow their lead. 4th Armored Division, Armored Regiment and Infantry Regiment advance together. Armored Car Regiment deployed to the left and right. Not much of an exercise when everything's all kind of set in stone, right? There goes one. But yeah, it's like, what is this? The enemy lies and waits for their death exercise, rather than they put up an actual fight exercise? Oh, we get to sit in the tent. How lovely. Wow! It's certainly potent. So this is the kind of firepower it takes to fight a modern war. You said those tanks are called Oxens? Yeah, they're a type of main battle tank from the Reinford Company developed 2 years ago. I've seen their spec sheets, but seeing their power firsthand tells you that numbers and decimal points don't. They must be the strongest heavy tanks on the continent. And the Imperial Army's got a couple hundred of those in the wings, huh? It's kind of crazy. You try fighting things like these head on, you won't stand a chance. That's as true as our own nation as it is for others. I just can't get used to this. Just the sound of the artillery firing is enough to make me start shaking. I don't think that's something you should get used to, I mean. If the sound of guns in warfare ever stopped bothering you, I'd be worried. Well, unless you're Fee. I mean, I guess it's another kind of strength. Dude, you gonna be alright? A little early for heart problems, don't you think? I mean, I guess this is a soul problem. Thus, the military exercise came to an end. The 4th Armored Division, led by Lieutenant General Craig, withdrew to an encampment near the fortress. Meanwhile, we returned to the fortress, where Major Neidhart outlined the results of the training exercise. After that... Oh, we get the somber music. Sorry you had to wait for us to finish. Don't worry about it. We're the guests here, after all. Thanks for your consideration. At the very least, I'd say dinner's a million times better than lunch was. I mean, it's hashed beef today. That's an Imperial Army tradition, isn't it? Oh, just the smell's making me hungry. Oh yeah, where'd your instructor go? She's a real looker. I was hoping to get a chance to talk to her. She went to see the fortress commander with Instructor Neidhart. She did ask us to eat without her tonight. Ah, right. Well, if she's with Major Neidhart, it's hard to compete with those guys from the 4th Armored Division. It'd be enough if they just had Craig the Red, but they got the Major too, and he's kind of scary. Huh. Like a division of musclemen. Anyway, we shouldn't keep you tied up any longer. Your hash beef's gonna go cold. See you tomorrow, guys. Oh, this definitely looks better than what we had. Almost looks like curry. Wow, it's actually delicious. It's like the night and day comparison compared to what we had for lunch. You're telling me. Aw, come on, guys. What's with all the gloomy faces? You think you guys might have had a bit too rosy of an outlook? What were you expecting to see out there? I'm sure you can understand at least a little of how we feel. It's like, has everything we've learned in our time at the Academy been for nothing?
Academics, the arts, individual skill in combat, none of those matter in this slightest in real warfare, do they?
It's true. If all you're looking to do is fight a war, you don't need any of those. All you need is plenty of troops at your command, the latest weaponry, and overwhelming firepower. Assuming you know the tactics to use them well and the strategy that employs them effectively, I suppose.
The Oxens are even more powerful than I was expecting them to be, too. I remember my mother boasting about their capabilities when she was trying to sell them to the army 2 years ago, but to be honest, I'm feeling somewhat disheartened as well. I can't see there being a place for swords on the battlefield with weapons like those on the front lines.
Well, I don't think that means individual combat skills don't matter at all. Still, I think maybe we've been misunderstanding something important all this time. What we saw in that military exercise today was power in its purest form. It has no morality of its own. It exists to bring about a result, regardless of the ideals or principles of those who wield it.
That's true. In a sense, the same could be said of a sword or a gun. And all the way on up to something as huge as Garrelia's railway guns, too.
I think I finally understand why they wanted us to watch that military exercise in the first place. They could have taught us in a less roundabout fashion.
Well, looks like you didn't wait for me to start the party.
Instructor Sarah?
So you spoke with the commander? Sure did. I've got up-to-date info on the trade conference too, as well as the latest on the terrorists. So there's new information about the Imperial Liberation Front. Anyway, before I get to that, let me explain what you'll be doing tomorrow. In the morning, you're scheduled to participate in the Imperial Army's physical fitness training. In the afternoon, you'll be attending a special lecture where I'll bring you up to speed on the info I just mentioned. After that, you've been granted special permission to view the railway guns. I see.
Looking forward to that. Sounds like we've got a pretty packed schedule.
Well, we did bring you all the way out here, so we might as well make the most of it. Every nation possesses power in that form of a military, whether that military is large or small. Garrelia Fortress just happens to have that power in a very striking, easy to understand form. As students of a military academy, you have an obligation to know the scale of that power. The Empire of Erebonia wields, at present, a power you might one day be in charge of yourselves.
What?
Anyway, even a meeting that long can keep me away from trying the famous hash beef rice. I've heard it's the only decent food they have around here, so I've been looking forward to this all day.
We should probably finish eating.
Yeah, though it's gotten a bit cold now. Maybe I'll go and ask for seconds. Oh, Eustace, if you don't want the rest of yours, I can have it.
I'd sooner throw it away than give it to you. Wow, Eustace. Wonder what the SSS is doing right now. Probably taking care of some support requests. Okay, that should do it. Alright, that covers today's quota. I'm looking forward to a nice long bath. Well, you know how every time there's a military exercise coming up, the workload gets pretty crazy like this. Still, at least managing inventory has gotten a lot easier thanks to the Orbital Net. They've got everything hooked up on the network over in Crossbell, right? Wish the Empire would get on that a bit more. Think of the utility. Well, from the sound of it, you need special equipment to send signals through a wired connection to make use of it. And considering the size of the Empire, it's probably going to be quite a while before it's a widespread thing here. Huh? An orb mail? Looks like it's from HQ. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This right here is the problem with the Orbital Net. There's no such thing as off hours when they can just send you orders round the clock. Huh? What's going on? So get this, they're planning on doing some extra exercise tomorrow. That means we got to outfit 20 oxens with C units by tomorrow. 20. Seriously? Might as well start up another pot of coffee. We're in for an all-nighter for sure. Do we even have that many C units left? Actually, another lot came by freight just this evening. Exactly 20, if you can believe it. Guess we just have to get it done. Crap, at least let us take a shower. I want to head down to the mess hall and grab some snacks. You want anything? Oh, I like that. I like that bit of camaraderie there. It goes a little beyond just co-workers. It's a little bit more, a little bit more to it. Also, where are the C units? And what does this have to do with what happened in the prologue, or is this unrelated? Did the terrorists send the orb mail, or did HQ send it? The early days of the internet. You just trust what you see. Yeah, I'm guessing that is not what they were supposed to do. At last, after what seemed like enough adventure to fill a week, we reached the final day of our field study. Over in Crossbow State, they were busy preparing for today's keynote session at the trade conference. We spent the morning running through the Imperial Army's physical fitness program alongside some of the soldiers. And after completing it, no easy task, I might add, we sat down to a lukewarm redux of yesterday's lunch. That afternoon, during our special military science lecture, we were presented with a confidential report on the terrorists. Military babble. The Imperial Liberation Front is in Crossbow?
That's right, or at least that's what the Intelligence Division believes. It looks like a known terrorist organization from the Calvard Republic has turned up in Crossbow too. The situation over there is pretty touch and go right now. Oh no.
What are the authorities doing? Everything they can, naturally. However, operations are being handled solely by the Intelligence Division. They refuse to tell the Imperial Army anything, just that they have a trusted ally taking care of things.
Yeah, sure. But who does the Intelligence Division trust?
You've gotta know something about this, right, Short Stack?
Well, I do, but I can't really tell you anything. I guess it's not a breach of confidentiality to tell you that they're a really strong bunch, though.
That's still pretty vague. Yeah, and I don't know if you're even gonna believe it if you heard it.
I've got a few ideas. Anyway, there's not much point in us worrying about that right now. The bigger issue is that our terrorists of the hour, the Imperial Liberation Front, are a bigger crew than we thought. Big enough to be in possession of a state-of-the-art military airship, at least.
Seriously? An airship? Can we assume Reinford's the manufacturer, then? Correct. Just how something that large found its way into the hands of insurgents is currently unknown. but it seems to be a high-speed model, different from the heavily armored types favored by the Imperial Army.
I bet it's from the RF-26 series. There are a number of different models within the series, though.
But if they have an airship, that means they're going to be a whole lot more difficult to catch, doesn't it?
That's exactly what it means. It's basically impossible to keep tabs on them as it is. With an airship in their possession, there's no telling when or where they'll pop up next. That's quite worrying, especially since Prince Olivert is attending the conference. And Toa's in Crossbow right now, too.
Yeah. Damn, now you've got me worrying.
Aw, take it easy. I don't think you have anything to worry about with Grams and Lecter over there.
Well, that aside, if the terrorist detention is currently focused in Crossbow, does that mean the Empire is effectively safe right now? You raised a good point, Laura. They did target Princess Alfin during the summer festival last month.
It's possible it's just a feint. Maybe they just want us to believe they're targeting the Chancellor. The Railway Military Police thought so too, which is why they've increased the security level here at home. The Emperor and everyone else connected to the Imperial Army family should be safe. They've also beefed up security anywhere that seems short-handed.
As well prepared as ever, I see. At any rate, you've finally uncovered some information on the terrorists' identities, correct?
That's right. Though, once again, we have the Intelligence Division to thank for that.
If you turn your attention to the screen, please.
Gideon.
I know that face. Gee.
That's the man who kidnapped Princess Alfin and Elise in Heimdall. Not to mention, he tried to start a war with Calvert in the Nord Highlands.
So, who is he?
His full name is Michael Gideon. He used to be an assistant professor at the Imperial Academy in Heimdall.
That man? A teacher? So, an academic.
Right. His focus was political philosophy. 3 years ago, he was dismissed from his position due to his intense criticism of Chancellor Osborne's hardline policies. Oh, so getting laid off got him set him on the road to terrorism? Well, it sounds like the actual reason he was let go was because he was handing out tracts and flyers in public. You'll find these kinds of idealists out at the heart of the most terrorist groups, though. In seeding a group with their core ideology, they twisted it to be even more militant and radical. You can't even reason with them either. Yeah, they just don't know when to give up.
Sounds like some other groups I know. So, do we know anything about the others? We crossed paths with what I can only assume were 3 other key members to last month in Heimdall. Yes, S, V, and C.
It seems like they haven't been able to dig up much on those 3 yet. Their strongest lead right now is that V may belong to a Jaeger Corps.
Interesting. He was toting around this machine gun that looked like it should have been mounted on a vehicle.
Did he seem at all familiar to you, Fee? Not really. They're working on narrowing down the identity of S too, but it's too early to make any informed statements. The real unknown is their leader C.
Ah, the one in the visored helmet. I heard he was able to go toe-to-toe with Reen, Laura, and Fee simultaneously.
I almost find that hard to believe.
I don't. I imagine there are plenty of people in the Empire who could do so. It goes without saying that the Radiant Blade Master could fend 3 of us off without much of a problem. But I'd bet Good Mira, Instructor Sarah, and Major Nightheart could do it too. I can't say for certain.
Look at Mr. Modesty over there. The Major here is widely held to be one of the strongest up-and-coming officers in the entire army. I've heard people mention him right alongside Major Vander.
Laying it on a little thick today, aren't we?
Going by the family name, it seems safe to assume he's a practitioner of the Vander style of swordsmanship.
No doubt a relative of Lieutenant General Vander from Zender Gate. Ahem. While I would question whether I can stand on equal footing with him, Major Vander is unquestionably strong. Are we talking about Mueller? Oh, we're talking about Mueller. He was my classmate during my military academy years, and quite close to Prince Olivert as well. Yep, we're talking about Mueller. In fact, he's in Crossbell right now, serving as the prince's bodyguard. Whoa.
Well, that's reassuring to know.
But getting back to the point, it's not just C. We still know very little about their group as a whole. Even their source of funding is a mystery, so even if they're a no-show in Crossbell, I doubt we've heard the last of them.
And call it a coincidence or fate, but you've put the kibosh on their schemes twice now. It's entirely possible they've come to hold a personal grudge against you, so be careful. Right.
Yeah, we'll be sure to keep that in mind.
Eventually, the afternoon series of special lectures came to an end, and it was finally time to get a peek at Garrelia Fortress's infamous railway guns.
Is it time? You will now be shown the area where the railway guns are housed. All of what you're about to see is highly classified. I presume you're aware of the protocol surrounding confidential intel? Yes, Instructor.
I'm getting kind of nervous. Me too. Guys, it's just the railway guns. I've seen them before. They're nothing to get all excited over.
Orion, this part of the field study isn't mandatory for you.
If you'd like to stay here and wait for us, that'd be more than okay. Jeez, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be the only one left behind. Honestly.
Excuse me a moment. This is Neidhart speaking. Yes? Hello, Commander Walter. Wait, Mueller wants to speak to me? Of course, put him through. What could you possibly be calling about at a time like this? What? What's happening? Huh? Is he taking a call from someone outside the fortress on his Arcus?
Sure looks that way.
Understood. We'll be on alert here as well. Yes? Right. Take care out there.
Did something happen in Crossbell?
I'm afraid so. A short while ago, the skyscraper where the conference is taking place came under attack by the Imperial Liberation Front. The attack was carried out via airship. Fortunately, they were able to repel the terrorists, and Prince Olivert, Chancellor Osborne, and the others are unharmed. However, it's too early to tell if the danger has truly passed. 15:30, that means it's 2:30, which means... I guess that would mean, that has happened. No, wait, that would be 3:30, which, yeah, that definitely would have happened. Considering how long the conference took. They really did attack the conference.
How foolish. But that's not all, is it? Something else strange happened. What was it?
The terrorists were somehow able to gain access to the orbital net and manipulate the shutters that partition the building. Furthermore, they had with them a force of mechanical monsters.
I don't like the sound of that. You found something like that in Legram, right?
Yeah, we ran into one on the highway there.
And they broke into the orbital net. Major, how much of Garrelia Fortress is connected to the network?
At present, it is only used for inventory equipment management by the maintenance staff. And it's happened.
What was that?
A tremor?
It came from right below us.
Below? The hangar.